Okay, hey guys, and welcome back. A couple of videos ago, I was basically having a laugh at people complaining about, not being able to find the high runes they need to make the builds I'm showcasing, etc. So, rather than being, a child and laughing at you guys, I decided to do something a little more constructive and actually make a video about how to get rich playing online, how to find the things you're looking for when playing online. Okay, so it is not completely out of your control as you've been led to believe. So the first thing you want to do is build yourself an item find barbarian. Okay, and I'll give you the breakdown for that. So basic breakdown is as much strength as you need to wear your gear, as much dexterity as you need to hit a decent attack rate, possibly a block rate if you're using a shield. Dump everything else in vitality, nothing into energy. Okay, that's for the stats. As far as the skills, you want to max battle orders. You want to put a couple points into find item, max find potion, and keep going until you hit about like 65 to 70% find item. Here you want to go 1 point for the 1 point wonders. You want to max out your corresponding mastery. In my case, I'm wearing grief, so so I've invested in blade mastery. And then as far as skills, I've done 1 point into everything, all the way down to whirlwind, which we max, and then 1 point berserk, or 2 points, I guess I've put in there. Anyway, I'm going to keep dumping my points as I get them into berserk at this point. And berserk is synergized with battle orders, so you don't need more than 1 point. It's also synergized in a sense by the mastery as well. Okay, so that's it for damage. As far as gear, this is not a magic find barbarian, although sometimes I equip him and run him that way. This is a rune finding barbarian, which I'll explain why that matters in a second, but he has no magic find. So other than the Gates charm, which I keep for the gold and for the vendor price reduction, right? It's only 28%. It's negligible. But if you look here, and I think I've got a couple, yeah, I've got a couple small charms. I could drop these as well. But anyway, my total magic find is under 100. Okay, it's very negligible. So that's on purpose, okay? The reason for that is the lower your magic find is, ideally zero, the more runes you're going to find, because the higher your magic find is, the more magic, rare, unique, and set items you're going to have drop. So when the game rolls for those and drops those, it won't check to roll for a rune, right? But if you have low magic find, you'll inevitably end up getting more runes. So that's number one. And number two, find item also has a high chance of finding runes. So you're kind of double dipping, right? And only the barbarian can do that. So you have to be strategic about this stuff. So again, what did you learn today? If you're hunting for runes, magic find is inconsequential. If anything, it could potentially hurt finding runes. And it's my strong belief that it actually does hurt finding runes. And that you can just find high runes with just an all damage build, right? And knowing the key areas to run, and that key area is Travincal. Okay, you could run other areas, but no area will be more efficient for the amount of time spent and rewards gotten. Okay, so you use find item on all the bodies basically after you've killed them all, and then you rinse and repeat. You make a new game, you kill them all, then you use find item again, and you keep doing that until you find some good stuff. Eventually, you'll find some runes, and gear worth trading, and like facets and things like that. So far this season, without even trying, I have found 4 facets, all from Travincal runs. Okay, with like minimal magic find on my character, not bad. 3 all res, small chart. So that's what I mean, Travincal, because those guys are kind of like mini bosses, and they have a good loot table. They're worth running. You'll often find good things, if not great things. Often you'll find great things, right? So I guess our mercenary died there, but we don't really need him. So yeah, I mean, as far as my setup, I don't know if I've shown you guys setup. I've got grief, then I've got unbending will. You can also wear just like a storm shield for extra defense. There's a lot of different things you can use here. The only rule is you can't have any cold damage anywhere in your character or your mercenary, because I mean, you can, but it's going to hurt your odds, because what happens is cold damage can cause the bodies to freeze and shatter. And when the body shatters, it melts, and then there's no corpse left behind for you to find item on, right? So you want to preserve all the corpses. The other thing you want to note is that you cannot find, you cannot have anywhere on your character or your mercenary the quality that says rest in peace or monsters will rest in peace or anything along those lines. What that does is once the monster dies, it cannot be resurrected, but it also cannot be used to find item. Okay, so if things like nature's peace ring, you don't want to have that on your find item barbarian because it's going to negate your ability to use find item. Okay, guys. So I'm just trying to give you all the wisdom I have that'll help you, find better loot and kind of get ahead in your game and be able to build the characters that you wish to have. So the other cool thing is that you can dress up this barbarian different ways and run him for different reasons. So, for example, you could dress him with all gold find gear and use him for that purpose, and then use the gold to gamble for circlets and things like that. The other thing that you can do is you can deck him out with a bunch of magic find gear, and then you're gonna find a bunch of uniques and sets and things like that. And in pretty much all those instances, I would still recommend Travincal as your destination, only because you can get to it very quickly, and because it's a high density area with what's essentially like mini bosses. Think of them kind of like Bal's minions. It's the same kind of idea, and like the minions of destruction and all that. It's the same kind of idea. They have like a similar loot table, maybe even better than those guys, to be honest. Where it's like the things you could find on these guys, it's well worth your time. So I wish I had my mercenary as a distraction right now, but that's okay. So the mercenary, he's a lot stronger, but because he can't wear anything that has like cold damage, it means he can't wear his Reaper's Toll. He can't wear his Vampire's Gaze. Like there's certain items that make him very strong and tanky that he's not able to wear for the barbarian, because again he'll shatter corpses, and that'll be fewer corpses for us to run item find on and potentially find high runes and things like that. So, all right, guys, I think we'll close out the video there. I think you get the gist of it. So, what I'm recommending as a summary is that you build a find item barbarian. Like, it doesn't really matter how you build him however makes you happy. The way I built him is just my suggestion. It's just the most effective and efficient use of points. Okay, but you can run him as like a frenzy barb. It doesn't have to be whirlwind. You can run him as a dual swing barb. Like there's different ways you can build out the same character that I'm sure will work just as well, maybe better. I haven't experimented, so feel free to experiment and try. You don't have to be rigid. You don't have to use all the same gear that I'm using. You don't even need the grief, right? You don't. You can have two unbending wills. He'll be slower. He'll still get the job done, especially if you've got like a G face and like ores and things like that. He'll still get the job done eventually. So again, I don't want anyone in the comments saying these items are hard to find, they can't build these builds. Not every build video is going to be for everybody. Some people are richer than others. Some people just play single player and just forego the whole finding things themselves, which is totally valid. You guys can all do the same, right? So all I'm doing is showing a build. It's not tailored for online or competitive play or anything in particular. It's just Diablo 2 build. Where you choose to play it is up to you. Okay, guys? So I think that's it for today. Hopefully, this little kind of rundown on the item find barbarian will help you guys understand how players like myself end up finding multiple high runes a season, or at least gear to trade for them. And the answer really is Magic Find Barbarian or Item Find Barbarian or Rune Find Barbarian, depending how you build them, right? A lot of people think it's the Magic Find Sorceress, but they'd be wrong. And I'm not saying the Magic Find Sorceress is useless or not a fun character or good for Magic Find. She's amazing, especially with Teleport. But you have to know why you're using what character, okay? So for general Magic Find, the Sorceress reigns supreme, but for targeted magic find, for things like high runes, the barbarian item find is actually superior by a lot, by a factor of like 10. So you're better off with that. All right, guys. I hope you learned something new. If you did, please like and subscribe. We are a young channel trying to monetize, and we can't do that without you. So please, 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 guys, like and subscribe, and so we can deliver more high quality content that you guys are interested in. If there's anything we haven't covered that you'd like to know, variations of the item Find Barbarian, maybe you want to see him in action in a different area of the game, let us know in the comments below and we'll make that content for you and we'll get those videos out. Till next time, guys.